What's up guys, and welcome to another E46 M3 review. This one is a 2003.5, which means it has the LCI or Life Cycle Impulse update. The owner Jack has done a few tasteful mods to this thing, including JRZ RS2, two-way adjustable coilovers, Euro catless headers. I'll put the full list of mods in the video description. Most of it is more maintenance focused. Motor mounts, transmission mounts, replacing some of the old worn out bushings. Nothing too crazy here. So yet another E46 M3. I always gravitate towards these cars because they have just the right recipe for what I look for in a sub $40,000 daily drivable track car. It's front engine, rear wheel drive, limited slip diff, manual transmission, powered by the 3.2 liter S54 engine. It's a naturally aspirated straight six, making 333 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque. You could get these with a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed SMG. Of course, the manual is always going to be preferable. If you do get an SMG, it is fairly straightforward to swap it to a manual. It has strut front suspension, multi-link rear, hydraulic power steering. This one seems to have a rewrapped steering wheel. I've always loved the interiors of the E46. Very well built and a timeless design. This is not a design that is going to age poorly. Hell, it's already been over 20 years, close to 25 years since the E46 was released. The seating position with these stock seats, however, is a little too high, an inch or two too high, I would say. And the seat itself, well, they're known to wear out, as these have. The bolstering is a little bit floppy, and this leather is cracked. But in terms of driving dynamics, I've always loved the E46. So let's take this one for a spin, a lightly modified example, and remind ourselves why it's such a great car. An example like this, I would expect should go for under $30,000. It's got 110,000 miles, a little rough around the edges, I would say. It's not the most pristine example. There's some squeaks and rattles here and there, but as long as it performs well, that's what we care about. First thing I'm noticing is this clutch pedal. Very stiff, long throw, which means I have to actually move my seat closer. Second gear. That's why we love the E46. Naturally aspirated straight six engine, revs to 8,000 RPM, 7,900 redline to be exact. Very long throw OEM shifter. I do think doing a clutch pedal upgrade and a short shift kit are very much needed mods for the E46. Also, hydraulic steering, decent feedback, but I've never liked two things about it. Number one, the on-center feel isn't that good. It's a little bit just loose, vague feeling on center. And it doesn't load up much in the corners. It kind of just stays light. Stock brakes on this example, they feel adequate for canyon driving, but they are a weakness of the car if you plan to track it. These JRZ RS2s, they seem to be set to a pretty soft setting right now. They're two-way adjustable, but it feels underdamped. I'm getting a lot of excessive vertical motion going over bumps at speed. Probably set up for daily driving at the moment. Let's try a little straight line pull. Nice smooth induction note from this straight six engine. Very linear throttle response and power delivery. Easy to heel toe other than the very long clutch pedal. The suspension's just a little too unsettled. You can see I'm getting jostled around, up and down, going over every bump. Clutch and shifter throws need to be addressed. That's what dates this car, the inputs. Luckily, there are mods you can do to fix these things, as I found in modified examples that I've driven. But out of the box, definitely, this car has some weaknesses. We're on some Apex wheels. They fit this car really nicely, give it a nice stance, combined with the JRZs. I've always loved the look of the E46 over every other generation of M3, actually, even over the E9X generation. Woo. Very bumpy ride here. I kept the sport button off, but if you turn it on, I mean, the throttle becomes an on-off switch. I hate it. They made it better in the later generations of M3, but in the E46, this button is awful. This BMW shifter, from the factory, it's rubbery, it's loose, it's vague, long throws. One of the weaknesses of almost every BMW manual I've driven. The newer generations, especially the G80 and the G87 M2, they've definitely improved the manual shift feel by a lot, but it's still not the highlight of those cars either. The highlight has always been the handling and the power. I should say the balance of handling and power has always been excellent in pretty much every generation of M3. Beautiful red NSX right there. Yeah, I think the E46 M3 is an amazing tuning platform to build a really capable canyon or track car, but in mostly stock form, it just has a lot of weaknesses that need to be addressed. Of course, from a reliability standpoint, there's the big three. There's the VANOS, the rod bearings, and the subframe reinforcement that's required. I believe those are the big three. Easy to solve in the aftermarket, but also quite expensive in terms of labor and parts. But even if you have those three things done, the car needs some work to make it a truly good canyon or track car. It needs suspension reinforcement as well as aftermarket coilovers. It needs a brake upgrade, ideally a big brake kit. I would argue it needs an intake and exhaust, because even though this engine sounds pretty good stock, from inside the car, it is a little bit lacking at the top end. The steering also is decent, but not the highlight of the car. And so any mods you can do there to improve the steering feel also would go a long way. But fundamentally, it's hard to argue this being an amazing platform for modifications. And considering you can find these for under $30,000 all day, for a reasonably good example, it's still a very, very enticing proposition, and one that I personally am still considering. Maybe in the next year or so, I'll pick up an E46 and turn it into a streetable track car. I just love the front engine rear wheel drive dynamics of this car, even though it's not amazing to drive on the street because it is old. It does have some squeaks and rattles. It doesn't have really any creature comforts other than AC and heated seats technically. When you push one of these cars to the limit on track, it really comes alive, as I found out a couple of times. So shout out to the owner, Jack. Let me know what you think about the E46 M3 as a platform for modifications. And let me know if you think there's an even better track car for me to consider that's front engine rear wheel drive. I might even consider mid-engine rear wheel drive, but FR is where my heart has always lied for at the limit driving dynamics. So let me know what you think, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.